What's going on, Tamers? Ahead of the new BT8 box set named New Hero coming out for the Digimon TCG, I want to talk a little bit about the new mechanic that's being introduced to the game. That mechanic is called Armor Release, or if you're of the Japanese persuasion, let me get myself ready here. Let me just... Armor Genkai! I promise I'll never do that again. The new armor release mechanic is really interesting shake-up to the game. I think there's a lot of cool things that we might be able to do with this. So for all Digimon who have the armor release mechanic, the effect reads, when this Digimon will be deleted, by discarding the top card of its stack, you will not delete this Digimon. So it's kind of tricky to think about that if you've been playing the game for a while, because in a lot of cases you're really accustomed to source stripping, which says, oh, you discard the top card of your sources and that's it. This case is a little bit different. You're actually not discarding the sources, you're actually discarding the top card of the Digimon itself. So in these cases, you're going to be discarding the actual armor Digimon, and then the Digimon underneath it would then become the Digimon in play. So, there are actually quite a few cards that have this effect. You'll take a look, I'll put them up on the screen somewhere around here. Future Editor East, do your job, man. And so you'll probably notice that all of these Digimon are additionally dual colored, which means you can do a little bit of color mixing and matching for different archetypes. Additionally, they all either have blue as a color or green as a color. So I think that especially in this set, blue and green have gotten a pretty big buff from these effects. Additionally, the set also includes 4 support cards for armor type Digimon, and all of the armor type support cards, they're all options in this case, they have the effect at the top that reads, if you have an armored Digimon on the board, ignore the color requirements for this option. So if you have an armor type, then you don't have to worry if it's red or blue or yellow or green. Although in most cases, because the armor types are all dual colored, I don't think it's going to matter too much, you know? So here are some of the cards. I'll show them up on the screen as well. The first one is called Fire Rocket. It's a red option card. And it says if you have a dual colored Digimon on the board, then that Digimon gets security attack +1. The second card is a yellow option card called Plasma Shoot. It gives one of your opponent's Digimon minus 4,000 DP. And then, for each trashed armor you have, all of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1,000. So you'll hit one for a big minus DP, and then everything else for a little bit. The third card is called Lightning Blade. It's a green option card, which says, if you have a dual-colored Digimon on the board, you can choose one of them and give it plus 2,000 DP and piercing. And finally, the last one, which I think is maybe the most interesting, is it's actually a white option card called Armor Texture. And it says, it's a 0-cost card. It says, by discarding the top card of an armor-type Digimon, so basically by discarding the armor Digimon itself, you can Digivolve it by paying its Digivolution cost into another armor-type Digimon in your hand. So it basically allows you to swap armor types depending on the situation that you need. Additionally, you should make that Digimon active once the Digivolution is done. So if it's swung before, you can actually swing again, or if you need to block, you can set it up as a blocker. There's a lot of interesting ways you can use this card. And finally, I want to talk about some of the implications here. I don't want to go too deep into this just because I think there's a lot to explore with BT8 and I don't have, of course, the cards or the experience to do that yet. So for now, I'll leave a lot of my, tinfoil hat, wild boy theories for later videos. But I do want to bring up 2 important points. You'll notice that there was no black or purple representation among the armor release cards. I think, and this is just my guess, that maybe they felt that giving purple more card destruction in the form of discarding the armor Digimon through effects, as well as giving black potential blocker or reboot with armor was potentially too much. But maybe in the future we'll get something like that, and if those cards get power crept. And finally, I think what, in my opinion, is going to be one of the decks that I'm most interested in for BT8 is actually going to be a Vmon plus armor deck. So you'll probably remember that I said before that all of the armor cards have, of course, a myriad of colors, but they all either have blue or green as their type. Additionally, a lot of these cards have a secondary effect that says if you Digivolve this card from a Vmon, the Digivolve cost is less than the normal cost. So I think that we might have chance for a Vmon plus armor deck. You could run it, of course, the level 3s would all be Vmon, blue, but then on top of that, the armors could be run, you could be running, red, blue, green, blue, yellow, blue. I think there's a lot of interesting ways to build a deck like this, and they also give it pretty much all the effects you need in the form of blockers. You've got cards that generate draw, you've got cards that are removal, and so I think this is going to be one of the more interesting decks running for BT8. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long. I just wanted to give a quick overview of what the new armor release mechanic was. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to as far as the new decks for BT8, especially with the armor release mechanics. I didn't really explore too much into green, but I think that there's some interesting stuff with the Rapidmon and some of the other Digimon like the Digimon. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Y'all be good. Go. Oh yeah, one more thing before you get out of here. Just before you go. If you're interested in seeing more videos on upcoming card sets, for example, BT8 or beyond, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I'll be doing a lot of videos kind of covering all of the what I think are the important archetypes coming up for the new sets, as well as the colors. All right, get out of here.